Welcome to my MaXXXine review, everyone. And if you don't know what MaXXXine is, it is the final installment of the X trilogy from Ty West that has been released from A24 studio. And this has been a film that's been kind of just very waited on, just everyone's been waiting for. X and Pearl came out within the same year, 2022, and this third film came out 2024. And it had such more of a budget than the last two, I will tell you. From the lavish looking 80s scene up to the Hollywood hills, this film had so much to go for, especially for this final installment. And weirdly enough, this installment was being marketed in its final few weeks as a comedy slasher. And when I tell you, there was the comedy in this film. I do like, though, how this movie pretty much picks up where the last movie ends. X ended with the reveal, little plot twist that really didn't have much to go for the actual film itself. And it was basically a reveal that she was essentially the daughter of a pastor of sorts. And that really didn't fill in, or at least fit into the actual narrative of X. So honestly, the end of X pretty much was trying to set up this third film, which honestly, once you watch MaXXXine, it all makes sense, honestly. From an amazing cast, such an amazing cast, full of A-class actors like Giancarlo Esposito, Kevin Bacon, of course, our dear Mia Goth, and so much more. The slashes, like as a slasher, it wasn't so much of a slasher film per se, I would say. Like, there were definitely the kills, but not your typical of a 80s slasher film, I would honestly put out there. The reveal, honestly, who the killer was in the end, and it was being a slight of a copycat killer of the 1980s serial killer, the Night Stalker. This reveal basically going off of the ending of. There is one scene I will say that happened in the beginning of the film, and if you guys know it, I will say if you guys have a little stepping on kink, I say you probably won't after this film if you like to be stepped on. The kills, I will say, were some of the most interesting in the series, and I won't go into much, but there is a certain private investigator who does meet his certain demise because of him deciding to play bad cop. Oh, what a bloody scene it was. This film, for me, I'm glad it came out. I've been waiting for it for so long, and I'm glad that it finally released for such a end to the trilogy here, and for us just waiting 2 whole years after X and Pearl, and we finally get to see MaXXXine and everything she's been up to since her little farm massacre. They call the events of X, like, I believe the Texas porn massacre, I'm believing. I don't remember exactly, but it's a pretty fitting name for pretty much what did happen on the Texas farm with the Douglases. This film also pretty much fixed up, or at least summed up little endpoints or plot points that happened between the last 2 movies. Even with Pearl being about Pearl and not MaXXXine, there were little things that transitioned from her origin story into this new film, and the way MaXXXine herself was still being haunted by the events of that farm massacre, and how that played into the film and her sanity going into the Hollywood scene and this just killing spree that's going on in Los Angeles between the copycat. So honestly, in the end, I just want to say this was such a great end to the trilogy. I don't really care what people are saying online, if it didn't really fit into what they were thinking for a third film. But honestly, with how this film became such more of a bigger hit with at least their budgeting and their story, I'm glad with the area that they went with this film. I originally was thinking the film could have gone like full circle, going back to like Pearl, like basically making MaXXXine never really going to her stardom. But in the end, I will say just a little slight spoiler, she does make her little stardom, and it is really great. And I say the blood, everything in this film is something to witness. And I say the kills, and even not the non-kills, just the very brutality of certain scenes will get you squirmish. So let me know what you guys thought about this movie and this review. And did you guys go see this film this last weekend? Let me know in the comments below. And always tune in for new upcoming videos in the future, everyone. And take care.